there was quite a bit of good pace for day one. It's always you come into the early parts of some of these the first day practices, and execution is a little bit scrambly, and I thought that was the case a little bit in both practices today. But I thought it settled in. Like the pace, like the competitiveness. I thought our older guys, I thought our vets did a good job settling guys in and leading, and young guys were out there playing and brought energy.
Generally speaking, are you going to try and, at least for a little while, keep lines and pairs together just to see how they work? Or
no, we're just talking about that. I think probably through the first couple of days, we'll make a couple of changes, but through the first 2 days here, I would expect things to stay reasonably close to what you saw today. We're going to look at it and make a few minor changes, but mostly, it's about. I thought we had good practices today. We're trying to set some foundations, set some basics in place, even in terms of basic systems. We're going to try to do the same tomorrow. So it's not so much about the line combinations in day one and day two here.
Do you? Is it important to have, since you're missing some of these key guys that impact a couple of lines, is it important to have Shen and Simmons together at the outset?
In the outset of camp?
In the outset of camp.
Well, we want, those guys they played on a good line together, and I thought it made sense to start with those two guys together. I think if you look at both practices, we tried to, we really tried to, get a good number of veterans in each group with the thought process that those guys can go out and do a good job leading, within and amongst their groups. Even though it's, everybody's out there going at it and competing, you still need that good leadership in each group, each practice.
How much of that is an extension into next week with the split squad games right away?
There's probably a good part of it. I guess I don't have we got a lot of discussions, yet to have there in terms of, what our rosters are going to look like for the split squads. But from what I saw today, there's a lot of guys that, will deserve to get into one of those split squad games. And it's day one, so day two, got to keep earning it, and we'll see where we end up after day two.
But it felt good to be back out there in full practice and being around the guys and competing with them, having fun out there, joking around, and being away for so long, I was just so excited to get back and being able to be around the team at all times.
Is it always a little bit leery when you're going back, you're battling, you've come off a wrist injury and you got a battle in front of the net, and it's the first time in months you've done that?
Not really. I've been working pretty hard for a while now. I was cleared for contact about 3-4 weeks ago. Anytime you're coming back from injury, obviously in the back of your mind, but when you're back out there and you've been doing it long enough now, it's just, you're back out there just playing the game. You're not overthinking it. You're out there just doing what you've done all your life and not taking any steps back.
Yeah, it really ramps up. Today was, for a first day, I think the pace was great. Anytime you got the first day of training camp rolling around, guys are hungry, the adrenaline gets going, and guys are pushing for training camp roster spots here. First impressions are huge. It's a new season, fresh start for everybody, and I think guys are, really taking that to heart and came out with a pretty good effort today.
From your point of view as a goaltender, is it different from last year for two reasons where, there are some new guys here and it's second year under Dave Hackstall, so you're a little bit more familiar?
Yeah, anytime that you're familiar with the guy at the head of the bench, it makes things easier. You know what to expect from him, and he also knows what to expect from his players and when to also push the buttons to get more out of guys. The start of the season is such an important part for us, and in the last couple of seasons that's kind of something that we failed at. Today I think was a good step in making sure that we start off on the right foot.
Sharp right at the get-go today. Do you feel like you're in a good place right now?
I did. I felt like I was reading the plays well out there. The body feels good. I just feel like I have a real fresh mindset this year, and today was the first of many practices to come, but it was a good start.
You and Michael, you have two #1 goalies here. Is that how you look at it too?
I think we're both very talented goaltenders. We're both going to push each other. At the end of the day, Michael's got his job and I got my job to do, and that is when I'm in the net, I got to be the best that I can be, and quite frankly, that's all I'm going to be focusing on this year is my job.
First day of training camp. How's it feel to be out there?
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously it's good to be playing and practicing that actually means something, and it's good to have some competitive battles out there, and pretty good fast-paced practice that we had today, and good day one.
What are some of the differences coming from those informal practices? Now you've had a bunch of those. Now you come to day one here. What are some of the differences that you noticed that jump off right off the bat?
Well, I think these practices are a lot more competitive. The informal practices I think are ready to get you ready for camp, and now it's game on. So it's you can tell guys are flying out there and pretty competitive, and it's fun to be a part of. And it's a little bit different this year with we still have 7 or 8 guys missing, but it's good to have two groups split and get some practices underneath our belt.
Now you mentioned that 7 guys missing from the World Cup. That being said, there are still a lot of players in camp. Is there a noticeable difference on the ice without those 7 guys missing?
Well, I think when you have 7 of your team's top guys missing because of training camp, those guys are obviously going to bring up the pace even more. So they'll start to file back in here as time goes on. But you notice when Drew or Voracek aren't out there. I think some young guys come to camp here and probably wishing they'd be out there with them, but that's all part of it. So yeah, missing your top guys, they do bring out the pace, but it's still a pretty good fast-paced day one.
It's evolution. I think as some of the younger guys get their bearings and they find their way in the league, they'll be a little bit more confident, which will lead to more scoring. And I think it's up to us as leaders on this team, to continue doing what we were doing and help the young guys out a bit and make it so that everyone's on the same page and that we're all doing the same things.
First day with a full squad here of sorts. What was it like for you? Was it important for you to be with Shannon right away, since you're missing so many guys?
Yeah, it's a little bit of another familiar face. That I know I've played with Shannon, I feel like, my whole career. So it's nice having him beside me. We had Wilsey in the middle there. And Wilsey's a great player. He's got great hands. Great eyes, and he makes a lot of special plays with the puck. So we're confident out there, and we're comfortable as we are right now.